Good evening, everyone. I'm Rishabh Mishra from Cruise Air Conditioners and Secretary of Rata Delhi Chapter. Thanks for taking out your precious time and making yourself available for them. Before we delve into the digitally rich content by our esteemed speaker, first I would like to introduce our Rata president, who would like to apprise you about how Rata organization works. So, Mr. Ajit Panikar, handing over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rishabh. Thank you very much. Uh, Good evening, everybody. This is the first event from Delhi, from Rata Delhi, a relatively new committee. Rata is a 72-year-old organization, primarily focused on the needs and the well-being of MSMEs in the field of HVACNR. And we have over 13 regional committees across India and reaching out to close to about 6,000 MSMEs across India. Uh, we have a membership with business owners, and as business owners, I mean, you could be a consultant, you could be a manufacturer, you could be a sales and service dealer, you could just be a workshop or a trader or a wholesaler or an importer. As long as you're a business owner, you can become a member of Rata. And primarily we are the voice of the trade to reach out to the government and to the customers. And what do we communicate to them about our interests, and how do we grow this industry, and how do we benefit the entire ecosystem of the HVACNR? Now, our industry is poised for growth for about 8 times over the next 2 decades. Now, to make sure that we benefit from this growth, it's important that we collaborate with each other, and we all of us come under one banner. Because truly, in a democratic setup, more the number of people, better is your voice heard. And for MSMEs, if we have to take the benefit that this country is offering us in terms of our own business, then it's more of us who come together, the better we get heard and the better we are actually able to benefit from this. So today's topic is pretty interesting. It is in sync with this thought. When our country is trying to be a 5 trillion economy, what is the role of small businesses like us? So I'm really looking forward to this event today, to hearing us out, to hearing the speaker, and I strongly believe there will be enough takeaways for all of us to decide on what is the role that we have in this opportunity that holds us. And I'm hoping that all of you listeners would become part of this Rata movement and become members. Thank you very much. And over to you, Rishabh, to take this event further.
Thank you, Ajit, for introducing Rata organization to our viewers. And so, coming to our main event of the evening, the role of MSME in shaping 5 trillion economy. Interesting. Back in 2019, our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, painted a dream, a vision of having a 5 trillion economy by 2024. As we all know, 2020 things got disrupted, pandemic occurred, our lives got disrupted, economies was shattered, and then suddenly in October 2020, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji come on screen, and they show that high level of energy and optimism, that optimism which will guide us and take us to that 5 trillion economy. And that same level of energy and optimism is being shared by none other than our esteemed speaker for tonight, Mr. Arup Majumdar. Having worked in various MNCs like Carrier, McKinsey, Daikin, Danfoss, Emerson, these are just to name a few. His career spans across last 25 years. He's been traveling and been transforming a lot of MSMEs and large corporates. Now he's having his own business. He's a CEO of Trariti Consultancy. So handing over to you, Mr. Arabji. Thanks for coming for tonight.
Thank you,
And
thank you, thank you, Rishabh, for this
thank you.
opportunity.
Yes.
Good evening to all of you. The topic that we have today is very interesting. We're talking about the vision of achieving a 5 trillion economy and the role of MSME. As we know from data, MSMEs form a backbone of our economy. They contribute 29% of our GDP, employ close to 11 crore of Indian in the sector. So it's a vital part of our economy. So, what our vision is, in order to do that, what is it we have to do, and what is the journey ahead for us to achieve this dream? In the next 45 minutes, I will try to cover how and where and when to start in taking this leap forward, which will make India into a powerhouse of business, which a place we richly deserve. I will go on to the next slide, which talks about three steps, and you can see that on the top. First is get the basics right, and I will explain to you what does it mean. Once we get the basics right, we go to step B, which is step up your business. And then we progress to C, which is to say with pride, made in India. That is what we want to achieve. Now let us look at what does get basics right mean. Before embarking on any expansion, any battle, any business moves, we got to make ourselves strong first. So what is it? What does it mean to get the basics right? And you see here I've blocked it into three different categories. That what is it? It means that you look at your current business model from end to end, starting from your suppliers to you in operations, manufacture, and to your customer through the route of distribution or channel partners. Measure each of your functional areas, how they are performing. Use KPIs. They are important because they are a compass to show you how you are performing versus previous quarter, previous year, versus what is the best in class in the industry, not only in India, but in other mature markets. Once you map all this, you look at the effectiveness of the chain, and you will realize in your operation, there are many non value adders. That means these are steps that you do take, you have implemented as a part of your process, but in this new world, you don't need them. So we call them as non value adder. If they don't add value to your business, don't do it for paperwork sake. Eliminate, remove non value adder. Many of you will be struggling with this one company goal, and it's not only for MSME, it is also for large corporations. Departments, they work in silos. It's very typical to see production, purchase, marketing, sales, finance, they all work in their own territory. They feel they're doing a great job, but they are individually brilliant. But if you look at the overall performance of the company, it is not that brilliant because the team is not working together in the right cohesive manner. So we have to remove the departmental silos and become one company, which is what we call as the right organization culture. The fifth is identify your low hanging fruits. Because when you embark on this kind of a journey, people will question you that why are you doing all these things? We have done this way so many years back. It works. Why do you want to shake the boat? So you got to show results. So go for quick wins. Show them results in terms of numbers, in terms of motivation, qualitative, quantitative, but show results. When you have done all this five, you are then ready to embark on the second phase, which is step up your business. Become big, aim big, think big. And we will talk about how to do that. When should you do that? It is now. There's no moment, there's no question of taking it further down the road. You got to do it now. And as MSME owners, the responsibility is on you to say, I want to do this, let's do it now. And why should you do it? You will see quick results. It will build confidence in your company, in your employees. It will get rid of the baggages you have been carrying for so many years. Get rid of them. It will get your staff energized. We know that during this time, people are feeling isolated. Cohesion is a little bit missing. But this kind of transformation will help to get your team energized. Now, where does digital come? This journey from A to B to C, this can be accelerated if you have a well thought out digital strategy. And today's session is focused on that part of it, which is how to implement a digital strategy. Now, what are the common problems that you face which keeps you up at night as a business owner. And these are some typical problems that you face: sales flat or going down, satisfied customer level, business not planned very well, cost could be an issue, profitability. There are different areas of buckets that you could have problem. Digital is an enabler which will help you in making some of these problems be alleviated, to be reduced to a level at which digitalization can do it. But behind all this, there is an element that if you incorporate a digital strategy, things will become better. And we will talk about it. Now, why is digital strategy so important? We know that disruptions will happen. And in our lifetime, we can see that there are three forms of disruption. One is technology innovations. We are adopting technology at a very rapid rate. So the pace of technological innovation, the change in customer awareness, customers are becoming more aware. They're making more informed choices of what they want to buy. And the disruption which has happened due to COVID, these are three major factors which is completely changing the landscape in which we will be doing business. If you look at large corporates, they're investing heavily in digitalization. Take any corporate in our industry, HVACR, they're investing in digitalization. MSMEs, they are in the early stages, but you have to invest in that because there is no time to lose. Now, what is digitalization? What does it mean? What is digital strategy? Let's go into and understand what it means. Business digitalization has three levels. Look at the bottom. The first one, which comes to everybody's mind, is social media. People associate digital strategy as a social media strategy. So when you talk about social media, you have all the platforms which are listed from Facebook to WhatsApp, and we can see the benefits that you can get out of it. But if you go one level up, it becomes a digital marketing strategy where you add the e-commerce platform to it, which is your Amazon, Flipkart, IndiaMart, all those different platforms which are there, and you have to manage that. So that is slightly at a higher elevated level. And then a true digital strategy includes several functional areas of your business. It involves CRM, your customer relationship management, using IoT, voice, cloud, analytics. There's a whole host of things which will touch every functional area of your business. And that is a true digital strategy. So when people talk about strategy, digital strategy, please bear in mind, digital strategy is not equal to social media strategy. It is much, much more comprehensive. Having said that, how do you progress? You'd say the natural progression is that I create a social media strategy, then I move to digital marketing strategy, and then I move to a digital strategy. That would be the normal sequence of event in which a company would like to move. If you look at the right hand side, it talks about the path. The x-axis shows you the competitive advantage. The y-axis shows you the level of difficulty. If you do a social media strategy, which is a Facebook strategy, LinkedIn strategy, WhatsApp strategy, all those things which are mentioned in social media, the difficulty is not that much. The level of difficulty is low. But does it give you a competitive advantage? Maybe not, because your competitors might also be doing it, maybe better, maybe worse, but they must be doing something. So both your competitive advantage, which is low, and the difficulty, which is low, puts you in the bottom corner, left corner. And that is where 2020, or the year gone by, that is where we were at. When we look forward and we say we want to go to a digital strategy, which is on the top right box, that is our future. Having a complete digital strategy gives you a high competitive advantage, not only in the domestic market, but also in the export market. And that is where strategy comes into place, that the marketplace is not India alone. India has got huge potential of inherent consumption, but there is also huge opportunities for export. Our neighboring country has got an export driven strategy, and they have succeeded to some extent. They have failed to some extent, but they were driven by export. So don't narrow your mind to say that my playing field is only going to be India. So the future, which will take or leapfrog your business, will be the complete digital strategy, which will give you a competitive advantage. However, the difficulty level is high because you have to embrace technology. You have to have that mindset that yes, I want to be prepared for the future. I want to accelerate my business. I want to be a part of the 5 trillion economy, and I want to have a digital strategy in place. It's going to be slightly difficult, but it gives you a sustainable competitive advantage. And on the top, in the title of the slide, I put in a very bold statement. I've said adopt it or face extinction. I've seen Chinese, I've dealt and been in China for 20 years. I've seen the Chinese, some of them from a very small company become very large companies. And I've also seen very large companies going totally bankrupt because they didn't have a strategy. But for them to realize it took them few years, that luxury of time is not there anymore. It will be rapid. So you got to move rapidly. And that is the key. Adopt or face difficulties in the future, which could be extreme difficulties. Having said that, you might ask, okay, so what is digital strategy in detail? Tell me what are the elements of digital strategy. So that what has come to now. There are 9 elements of digital strategy. And these boxes that you see are the boxes in which digitalization plays a role. And for each of these questions, each of the boxes, you got to ask this question to understand how ready are you. For example, in customer experience, ask yourself this question: how is the impression your customers have of your brand as a whole, the whole customer journey from buying, which is purchasing, to after sales, to customer delight? What is the role of digital in this? Try to see how ready you are in this area. Look at your operations. How much digitalized is your factory in terms of information flow? Is information flowing seamlessly across your incoming inspection, production, outgoing? Is the supply chain integrated? Question yourself, do I have enough digitalization in that? Is your company data driven, that you depend on data to make meaningful conclusion? Because digital is heavily dependent on data. And data is one thing, as you know, is the new oil. Data, data, data. You cannot underestimate the power of data. So how data driven is your company? So like that, I will not go into all the details of all the 9 elements, but you got to take a step back, assess your business, and see how prepared are you to be able to address each of these questions, to make a scorecard for yourself, for you as a company, to say where are you performing today and what is it that you want in the future. You see something strange in this slide, that I put social at the very bottom in the right. It is not to underestimate the value of social, but social media strategy is just, as I said before, one element of a complete digital strategy. Once you understand that, let us now look at your customer journey. The slide looks busy. Look at the box on the or the circle on the left. That is the initial consideration. That is your potential customer, your leads. And you want to take them to the point where they purchase your product, the moment of purchase. And there's a certain journey that your customers will take, potential customers will take, to move from initial consideration to the moment of purchase. Now, traditionally, what we have done, if you see this slide on marked with green, R is what we have done before. Person word of mouth, sales assistant, catalogs. So we have done something traditional. These are the traditional marketing levers, but that is now moving towards more and more digital. And you see that. I don't have to explain that to you. You can see that in your everyday life, that your life, your daily lives are becoming more digitalized. At one point in time, we used to say that our parents, they will not be able to understand digital. But you see your mom or your kids or people even of older age, how quickly they have adopted digitalization by using their mobile phones, the smartphones, how much enablement it has gone into their lives. For every small activity, they go to the smartphone to look for an app or for some tool to be able to communicate and get what they want. So the mindset that digital is something difficult, it will be difficult to adopt, it's something new, let us wait and watch, those days are gone. So this is the important thing here, that start your journey from the left to the right. How can you accelerate that? Because for you, at the end of the day, sales is important. So at one hand, you want customer to be aware of your brand, which is important, but you also want the customer to buy it. So you must have triggers at every point in the journey to be able to move the customer from the initial consideration to the final moment of purchase. And there are tools which are available to make that journey for you. Let us now talk about one very common area that you must be thinking, that if I want to grow, if I want to increase my sales, what do I do? And how can I use a CRM? Now, when I say CRM, many people say, oh, it's a Oracle or a SAP or some other CRM and they're very expensive. My company is small. How can I afford it? No, there are smaller CRM tools which are available in the market, which are tailored for SMEs. So you don't have to invest heavily in order to get a CRM tool. But a CRM tool is very powerful. Why is it powerful? Let's talk a little bit. Getting leads and managing your leads is a pain point for many SMEs. What is lead management? It means that you interact with many people, and it is not the salespeople only. The HR person talks to some people, the production guys talks to some people, and sometimes you get leads. Does your company have a comprehensive system to be able to capture all those leads and then start funneling it down to convert those potential leads into a customer? Or you lose it. And many a times we lose it. Many a times we get it. I give you a live example. I want to get an app developed. Now, I can find many companies which can give me an app. But just next door to me is my neighbor, and she works in the HR department of a company. And I was talking to her in the park, and she said that my company does app development. I'm the HR manager. And I said, wow, I know you. Tell me something which your company can do for what I want to do for my app. And she immediately connected me to the salespeople. Now, if you think that business development is only done by salespeople, that is not correct completely. Because here, the lead was being generated or was generated by somebody in HR. Your company is big. Each of your employee is one salesperson for your company. And are you able to capture that lead into your system? And many a times we don't have that. You know that we don't have that. And that is an area of opportunity. Once you get the lead, should you pursue all the lead? Maybe yes, maybe not. It depends on your strategy. So you have to do your customer segmentation. Define my leads into different segment and then say, I'm going to go after this lead or I'm not going to go after this lead because it doesn't satisfy either my profit goal or the demands of the customer, credit terms. There are so many factors which goes into funneling that what is my real segmented lead. and that goes into customer segmentation. And a CRM tool helps you to figure that out. Then you go for your channel partner management. All of you have channel partners, distributors, dealers, SSDs, so many people. How do you manage them? Suppose you have 500 channel partners. Do you have a comprehensive data set which you as the owner can look every morning, every week, and have a dashboard and say, hey, this channel partner is doing excellent, or this channel partner needs help? Do you have a dashboard? Maybe, maybe not. But this is another area in which you can digitalize your operation and get real-time data about your channel partners. Talk about our most favorite topics, pricing. Haha, pricing. We know in India we say price is king. Whatever cheap the price is, that is what the customer wants. Cheapest. The cheapest, also the best quality, best service, everything best, but the price the cheapest. Now, is that possible? Maybe possible, but is it sustainable? Maybe not. China is a much, much more price sensitive market than India is. When I was doing business in China with a very large HVAC manufacturer who has presence in our country, when I met the president of that company, my first meeting, when we shook hands, he didn't even know the agenda of the meeting. When he first shook hands, instead of saying hello, he told me, your price is too high. He doesn't even know what I sell. He didn't ask me what do I sell, what I want to sell, but he simply made a statement, your price is too high. That is the sensitivity of the market. Yet, to that price sensitive customer, we were able to sell a product at a higher price than competition because there was a pricing strategy behind it, which we call as the economic value creation model. And if you focus on that, get data and do analysis, which we call as a pricing analysis, you can get the best possible price that you can get from even an extremely price sensitive customer. So don't be swayed by myth that a lowest price will get you the market. You can overcome it, but you have to think through it. Aftermarket management. We know that a satisfied customer is somebody who can speak volumes for your company. How do you manage your sales? Once you've sold it, have you forgotten that? I've got an appliance in my home where the service guy calls me every 2 months to say, is your machine working okay? I say, yeah, absolutely fine. But when I get repeat calls like this every 2 months, every 3 months, I know this guy is a serious. If somebody asks me, hey, what is your experience with this machine? I say, whoa, you know what? This guy's service is terrific. Go for it. I become his spokesperson. That's what you want to do. And that is what is aftermarket management. So you got to do that. So now, having covered all that, what does it say? It says that the various touch point, starting from lead generation, where you get the potential customer, to after sales, you have a comprehensive picture of your entire business if you have a simple CRM system overlaying your entire operational structure. And it can be done. It's not rocket science. Now, let me give you some examples of what some companies have done or achieved by using some of those simple strategies. You know Dell, and here is an example of how Dell used Twitter, which has become very famous recently, how Dell used Twitter to clear inventory. Their initial objective was that they wanted to get rid of the computers at the end of the financial year very quickly because they were having a lot of inventory at the end of the year. It was appearing in the books and they wanted to clear it off. So their first objective was to get rid of the inventory. So they were clear that we will use Twitter to clear the inventory. What they did, they could communicate their offers, 10% off, 20% off, whatever offer they had, communicate the offer quickly through Twitter. They set up a Twitter account and they said, we have a KPI. The KPI is if we use Twitter, how many human units have we sold and how much revenue we have got, not only top line, but also bottom line to see that we have not eroded the profitability by offering heavy discounts. So there was a structure behind it. When there was a lot of success, what they did, they, they increased the objective, and they said our revised objective is to improve the overall customer experience. So it's not only for selling and getting rid of my inventory, but it is to enhance my customer satisfaction, customer experience. So they opened up 80 Twitter accounts, one service sales manager getting a Twitter account, Twitter handle, to be able to provide support to customer. This is not rocket science. It just needs you to think. What were they able to achieve? They went into Facebook, other social media platform, and the results were obvious. Sales went up, customer engagement went up, customer satisfaction went up, and the cost of acquiring new customers, which is a pain point for some of us because we have to incur some cost to get new customers. So that acquisition cost that came down. So what does the Dell lesson teach us? First, you must have a clear objective in your mind. Second, start small. Don't go overboard and say I'm going to do whole host of things. Then you will get stuck and you will get disappointed. Start small. Start small. Take advantage of the speed, and that's why you have to start small, because you don't want to spread your resources very thin. You have to focus your resources. And once you engage with the platform, you make sure that you measure the effectiveness, the KPI. What Twitter did, they said my KPI is, or Dell did, sorry, they said our KPI is units sold and revenue earned. So they had a clear measurement. Is it working? Not working? What do we do? It also gave them an opportunity to humanize your brand because you can do it in multiple languages. In India, you could talk to your customers in Telugu, in Tamil, in Kannada through Twitter. You can do that. So you can customize and be much more efficient. And this is a brilliant tool they came up with. These are some few examples of how social media can be used to generate positive sales as well as brand awareness and overall customer satisfaction. So now, for you as an SME, what shall you do? So let's talk about it. What are the 5 steps that you should do concrete to get to that state? So this is the summary, and I'm going to have one slide for each one of them. Step 1 is you must have a clear communication strategy. Step 2, you must have a clear social media roadmap. And I'm talking digital social media marketing. I'm not talking of the comprehensive digital. I'm focusing more on the social media right now. Create a timeline with themes, step 3. And I'm going to show one chart to explain what I mean about this. Step 4, which all of you might be struggling, how do I measure my effectiveness? So you got to measure the effectiveness. How? I'm going to talk about it. And measure the platform KPI. There's so many social media platforms. How do I know which one is effective for me? We'll talk about how to measure the effectiveness and how to take corrective actions. So let's go one slide each for each of these 5 steps. Step 1, create a communication matrix. Look on the right hand side of the slide. What is your customer journey? It starts with awareness of your brand, awareness of your product. It moves to the next level of engagement, where the customer searches for information, looks for information. He goes on to the next step of subscribing, and there are different ways where he actually converts or he buys the product. And then comes the after buying, which is the excitement with the product that yes, the product is doing what it was supposed to do. Then the customer becomes your advocate, just like I am an advocate of this particular home appliance I have at my home because my customer service is superb. And then I actually promote when I go to people's home and I say, you should buy this particular appliance because it's terrific, fantastic, go for it. I'm promoting, I'm an advocate of that. So you want your customers to move in that path. So how do you create the communication matrix? Look on the left. Identify who is your target audience. Are you in a B2B space or a B2C? If you're a component manufacturer, you are in the B2B space. If you are a product or a unit manufacturer in the HVAC industry making machines for the end user, then you are a B2C. Segment your customers based on certain parameters which is given here. Look at the demographics. Look at the rational driver of purchase. Why would somebody want to buy my product? There will be some comparison, performance, quality, delivery. There is something which are rational that you can quantify or justify. But there are sometimes emotional drivers of purchase, and many a times we forget that. We think it's tech, tech, tech. If the tech is good, it will sell. Sure, it will sell. But a super tech will sometimes be defeated by somebody who's less tech but is touches the heart of the customer. So there are emotional drivers of purchase that you got to understand. The proof point. Why would somebody believe if you say I'm the best? Why would I believe you? You got to show me something to prove yourself that yes, if you say something, what is your proof point? I want to know that. And then comes all the practicalities of a communication strategy, which is your color that you use, the tone, the brand personality, and there's so many things which is involved. But this is to give you a glimpse of what is a comprehensive communication strategy that your team and you as the owner should be thinking about when you create your business plan. So that is step one. We talked about the step two, which is create a social media roadmap. Now, each of this platform that we have, and there are so many of them, I've taken just three examples. Let's say you have a website, you have an Insta profile, you have a LinkedIn profile. What is it that you want to do with that? And I've just given some examples of what you should be thinking about. For example, in Insta, reels and videos, there's several Insta tools, highlights, influencers. There are so many things that you can do on each of this platform. So you must have a well thought out plan. Many times we're tempted. Let's open a Facebook page. Let's open a Twitter handle. Let's have an Insta page. But then you know what happens? You have 5 or 6 platforms. You don't have the resources to pay attention to them, and they are dormant and they do not give a good impression to your customer. So choose your platform based on your communication strategy, which was step one, which is my platform to reach my B2B, which is my platform to reach to B2C. Prioritize your platform and then have a clear strategy of how you are going to engage with that particular platform. Because once you are in a platform, make sure you don't leave it idle. A website, typically, you create it and then you forget it. That is not the right strategy. A website is a living organism. It has to be constantly updated with the latest information. Ask yourself, when was the last time I updated my website? If it is more than 1 month, you should revisit your decision to see how can I make my website more lively, more engaging, more contemporary based on what is going on happening around the world. And some of the best companies around the world, if you see their website, they're constantly upgrading their websites with the latest information that people want to see. You don't want to see an old news. Do you ever read an old newspaper? You read a new newspaper, fresh, because you want to be updated. And website is your voice to your business community. So here the message in this particular slide is you must have a social media roadmap. Now go into a little bit more detail. Let's talk about timeline. We have 12 months in the year. Create a theme for every month. This is just an example. In the month of January, you talk about a new beginning. In February, you talk about your loved ones. In March, you talk about Holi. Like that, you can create themes. What is important here is that you must plan. If you say that, okay, I will do something, let it come, then you are always in a rush and you might forget to do that during that point in time. So, planning your calendar is very important. So, lay out a 12-month plan and say, in this month, based on my audience, this is an example. So, don't take that as holistic. It's an example that in this month, this will be my key message This will be my platform. This is how I'm going to execute it so that you are ready. You don't have to scramble at the last moment to send out something just because you are short of time. So, planning is important. Execution is important. Strategy without execution does not work. You can have a brilliant strategy, but if execution is not done, not going to work. So, planning and execution is important. That is the key message of this chart. Now comes the very interesting question that how do I measure my digital marketing effectiveness? What do I do? Now, this slide might scare you, but I've tried to show you a glimpse over here. On the left hand side of the table of the slide, there's a table which talks about the different channels: email marketing, mobile marketing, SEO, content marketing, and there's a whole host, 8 of them down to affiliate marketing. For each of these channels, there are metrics, and I've listed the number of metrics for each one of those channels. If you look at YouTube, and the one I've shown here is to just give you a glimpse of the amazing amount of work or the analysis you can do, that if you want to really understand your presence on YouTube, there are 52 metrics. The slide may be too busy for you to read it, but on the right hand side, you can see that for YouTube, you can actually measure 52 metrics to see how you are doing on YouTube: good, bad, average. You can figure it out. Look at the trend, you can figure it out. So every channel, there is metrics, and they're all listed: 5, 6, 31, 1, 11, 11. There are metrics by which you can measure your effectiveness. Now you'll say, okay, I found out some measure. Now, how do I put it in terms of rupee, money? Where is the money? Show me the money. So this slide talks about the money. If you look on the left hand side, I put a big circle on the different platforms. So let's say Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Quora. You list all of them. To engage in them, you have to have some development cost, you have to have some running cost. So in that particular table, you put down what is the different cost that you incur for all these platforms, which is shown in the big oval on the left. At the very bottom on the left, the total INR spent on digital marketing. You sum it all up and you get a total number that this is how much I'm spending. On the right hand side, you can see the impact. What is the impact? Impact is ROI by platform. This tool will tell you what is your ROI by platform, and it will also tell you what is the incremental sales you have got by putting the money in the different platforms. Incremental sales and incremental GM, which is gross margins, which means that you can put 1 lakh rupees in different buckets, and then you say, oh, maybe I should change my allocation and spend more here and see what happens. And the ROI calculator on the top you see ROI original. That means it will automatically tell you what is my ROI. Has it become more? Has it become less? Am I spending my money wisely or not? So this is a tool, or there are tools which are available which can actually tell you that the money that you are spending is being spent wisely. Because that is a question which comes in people's mind all the time. What is digital social media actually giving me? Here is what is giving you: numbers, money, real money. This is what you're getting. To sum up, we talk about 5 steps, and I walked you through each of the 5 steps, which is creating the communication strategy, understand your B2B, B2C, what are the emotional driver of purchase, how do you get to them, identify the different platforms. Step 2, create your social media strategy, which is once you have defined your platform, what is your roadmap for those platforms. Once you've got the roadmap for that, then you go to the next level, which is a timeline, that how you are going to engage with this platform over a period of time. Then you go to the fourth, that now that I'm engaging, how do I measure my effectiveness? And then you go to the fifth, measure the money. Show me the money. and then you do a reallocation of your budget, put the money where the most of the result, monetary or non-monetary, which could be brand recognition also, is coming into play. So this is in summary the entire gamut of how a digital social media marketing strategy is done. Start with a communication strategy and go down all the way till you measure how the money is being made. Then you will ask me the question, okay, how do I actually do it? It's my people who do it. So let's talk about a little bit about your people, because it's you and your people who are going to actually do this particular step by step plan of execution and strategy making that will deliver you the result. So I start off by saying empower your team and start your digital journey now. The top half of the slide is the same what I told you before, that the common problems faced by MSMEs, sales, satisfaction, unplanned business, etc. The bottom left talks about the management mindset, which is a fundamental area that you have to question yourself. That have I developed that mindset that I must do this? And that is where we have put a very simple model of saying how you can do it, which is empower. We all know the meaning of the word empower, but here each letter means something different or something more. E, empathize with your people. We are going through a stressful time now. Empathize with your people. Get them on board with your digital strategy. Let them not think that is going to take the job away from them. Empathize with your people. Meetings. You know how much time we spend on meetings, and do you have you assessed how effective those meetings are? So many meetings I attend where people simply come, they are on their mobile phones or on their laptops. They're spending their time, they're physically present but not mentally present. So make your meetings short, action oriented, digitalize your meetings. P, get pride in your people in whatever they do. Celebrate little victories on the digital space that you encounter, and you will build the momentum. When people see something good which his teammates or his colleagues have done, they also feel motivated to do it. So build that pride in your people. Originality of thought, innovation. We know the importance of innovation, and many times we take it for granted. I've seen companies where they say Friday, 10 o'clock is an innovation meeting. It doesn't work. You don't become innovative on a certain day at a certain time. It doesn't work. But you could have a virtual blackboard or a whiteboard where you can ask anybody to stick some idea, the stick it note on a computer, on a virtual space with ideas. Get innovation from the ground. There's a great story of Samsung, how they did it in Korea by using the power of innovation from the ground level people, not the top bosses. The top bosses have their own way of thinking, but the ground level people also have sometimes brilliant ideas. So get those innovation idea out, and digital is a platform to get them out without them feeling that, oh, should I tell this to the boss? What will he think? No, virtual space has that advantage. Work from anywhere. Get your talent to work from anywhere. Don't put any restriction that you could do this, you could do that. Focus on the end result, then leave them, give them the flexibility to do the job. Engage with your staff at all levels, not only your direct reports, but people down on the shop floor. Engage with them. Take a simple example. Your factory has got a watchman, and I come and I cross the road and I ask the watchman, hey, can you tell me this road or this particular store? He'll tell me. That salesman, that guard is your salesperson. If you have engaged with him, taking your car out of your factory and you tell him, hey, you know what? हम लोग ये बनाते हैं. This is what we make. He knows what this company makes. You ask your guard, does he know what your company makes? He is your potential customer or your potential sales representative. So engage your staff and respect people for what they do, however small that work is. And that is the organization culture, which is so important for an MSME to take a massive leap forward and to join this journey, this exciting journey of reaching this 5 trillion economy, which Prime Minister Modi sir has told us is possible to get by 2025. So that is all my formal presentation. Thank you for attending. Start your business transformation, your journey now.
Okay, what a great session. What a great session by Arubji. Quite informative, I would say. Especially the quote, adopt digitalization or face extinction. I think it's the need of an hour for MSMEs to optimize their business operations through the use of digitalization. And now moving to the Q&A, question and answers. So I'll ask all the viewers and I'll ask Paryushan Jain to take up all the Q&A session with the viewers. So Paryushan, handing over to you.
Hi, thank you, Rishabh. Thank you so much, Arupji. I must say it is like a wonderful session. It's like a brainstorming what's going in my mind, and it's an eye opener. Uh, See, I what I totally understand from in last 1 hour or say that you know this is a bus which we cannot afford to miss. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the way we are moving ahead, the way the MSMEs are growing, and way the startup India is developing right now, I think we have ample of opportunities to look how we can, adopt or imbibe the digitalization in our DNA. So going forward, I would request the people and the viewers to please ask the questions. But before they ask questions, I have certain questions, which I formed it of myself because it was so indulging, and I was like so inquisitive to go through it, and I thought let me put some frame down my questions also. So so my first question, sir, my first question, it's very simple and very basic, which throughout the MSMEs like us ask is we don't have time for all these things because generally MSMEs are a single person or a family run companies, and the people are very very basically hand to mouth in their times of work. They're always occupied with work. So my question is, what are the major hurdles you face in going for MSMEs to go for to adopt a digital strategy in their own companies and in their own life also?
As you said, the biggest obstacle is people say, I don't have the time because I have to attend to urgent matters on hand. You get onto the operational stuff. However, you have to take a step back and say that I need to have some external resource to be able to assist me in that. The question comes, it will come at a cost. You have to be smart over there. There are many student community out there, many voluntary groups out there who are willing to learn on the job, and they're willing to contribute at a very, very minimal cost. And these are smart fellows. They want to get exposure to the industry. One of the challenges we have how to bridge the gap between academia and industry. And this is a perfect opportunity to use that to get inputs.
Agree, 100%. And I believe involving the fresh minds is the way forward because they will give you so much fresh ideas. Like you said, it's like what Samsung did. Instead of going to the top bosses and asking for their ideas, they simply went down to the bottom of the chart and of the value chart, and they asked innovations from them. So definitely, it's a great idea. And second question is comes the cost. So generally, my basic question to you is, in terms of the cost, from at what cost a digitalization or a digital marketing strategy or digital social media strategy can start, and what can be the optimum cost for it?
You can start with as small an amount as 25,000 rupees, as small an amount as that. But be focused on what you want. Don't spread yourself thin. Start with a small number. I'm just putting out a number, 25,000 as a simple example, and use it to enhance. As you enhance, you will get more traction. When you get more traction, you pump in more money. So make it into a snowball effect. Don't put so much money in the beginning and then you start scratching that, oh, I put so much money, I'm not getting effort. get a snowball effect. So start with a small number.
Understood. So what you mean to say, just start with the smaller amount, get some return on that, and reinvest that money again into your some portion of it into your again digital marketing strategy or digitalization strategy of your company, and then keep investing it. So it
Yes.
is reinvestment of your profit, basically.
Right. Yes.
Right. And my third question is, which I also personally faced, and I have faced a failure in that. That what should be my strategy to appoint a digital marketing company in my third party if I have to go with, or if I have to tie a hand with. So what should be my strategy, and what should I look into a third party agency? I'm sure you are running also your own organization, which helps a lot of MSMEs to grow. So, according to you, what should be our strategy on that?
The simple filter that you should apply when choosing an agency is, do they really understand your business? Because there are so many agencies out there who claim, I'm a Facebook expert, I'm a LinkedIn expert, I'm a Insta expert, and they claim they're expert in this. But do they understand your business really well? So get to talk to few people, see they really understand your business, and they propose to you a strategy which is in line with what you want and not in line with more with what they want in terms of their sales from you. So if there is a sync between the way you think and they think, then they are a possible partner for you. So assess your options carefully because there are so many options these days.
Okay. Uh, we just and coming to the end of my questions, so I'll request Rishabh and other people also if they have any questions, please take your time. I have one small question. So, what should be a practical or a rational time I should think before start getting the result? So sometimes people say, I invested 2 months, I invested 1 month, and the result didn't started turning up. So I didn't got the orders, I didn't got the return on my investment, or I didn't got the value for my brand. There was I didn't able to how would I say, I didn't able to evaluate it. So what should be a tentative right time according to you we should give it to for say a digital marketing agency or a digital marketing doing myself? What should be rational time I should give to myself?
So the buying process is a funnel. It starts at the top with the customer awareness, which is the brand building, and all the way bottom it goes to actual purchase. In 3 months' time, 3 months' time, you should be able to see a difference at least on the top to a major extent in the sense of brand awareness. How to convert it and how long it takes for conversion depends on your business to business that you have to assess. But 3 months is a good time to increase the top part. The leads, the brand awareness, that part can be increased in 3 months.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Arup And again, I would like to ask the viewers if they have any questions, please free to ask because it's a wonderful opportunity and it's like, taking your business forward. So thank you so much. I would request if you have any other things to share with us before I give my closure remarks, please.
No, I'm good.
Thank you so much. So it was amazing session, and to be really honest, I think this kind of session we should do it with Arupji quite often. He is like he should become a master trainer for Rata, and I'll put the words forward. And similarly, thank you so much, sir. You have a good day. Thank you for coming up, enlightening us regarding the digitalization strategy. And what I would say is, each one of us at least should take back one thing back home, think about it, and understand how we can adopt digitalization, digital marketing strategy, social media marketing strategy in our own business. It might be little different from what Arup is saying, but how we can imbibe it in our own business circle and business scenarios, and then we take it forward. Thank you so much, Arupji. You have a good you have. And sorry, before stopping, I would request Arupji if you have your contact details and you can put it in the the YouTube live link. So the people who are interested in getting in touch with you, they can contact you.
Sure.
So that's it from my side. Thank you everyone for attending the show. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so now we are closing the